Hello all, finally we are going to talk about callback hell in this session. So this is the most important topic and please listen or watch it and practice along with me till the end, then only it will be easy. Otherwise it will be very difficult to understand this topic. Okay? Please, I hope if you want to learn, please watch till the end and practice along with me. Okay, I hope you will follow these instructions. Okay, fine. So if you see in JavaScript, because JavaScript is a synchronous and single-threaded programming language, and JavaScript will never wait for anyone in the world. So it will keep on executing things one by one, and after completing everything, it will take rest. Okay, otherwise it will be execute everything in a synchronous way. So, but how JavaScript will handle asynchronous things? Already we have discussed, right? We have taken example about a set timeout and set interval, and we have already covered event listeners, and even we talked about fetch API also, and how to use that fetch API also. So hope you have already understood those topics. And here, if you want to understand callback here, at least we should know the basics of what is callback and how to use the set timeout and how to write the arrow function and how this event loop will work. So then it is going to be very easy to understand this callback here. Okay, let's write some code so that we can talk about callback here. So here the two lines of their console.log start and console.log end. So if I do console.log something, so some task one is completed. So what will be the result? We know, right? First it will print start and it will print this statement that task one is completed will be in the output in the console, and it will print the end. So we don't have any problem with this. We everyone understood this simply. So I'm just making things bit complex. Okay. So what I'm doing, I'm just creating a function called task one, and I'm just moving this logic simple statement into the function. So that if you want to execute this line of code, what we need to do, we should invoke the function called task one. But of course, we learn all these things. We don't have any problem to invoke. So let's invoke the task one invoke. So what it will, what is the output now also? It will print the start and it will execute the call start, sorry, task one, and it will print the task one is complete, and once it is completed, then it will come out of that and it will execute console.log end, so that the output will be the start and task one is completed, and the lastly it will print end also. So here, but sometimes, okay, this task is not taking time. Okay, it immediately executing the console.log because it has simple one line. We don't have any problems. But sometimes in the real time, we need to send a request to server, right? Server. Okay, login is once if you enter user ID and password, if you click on a button, submit button or login button, so it will send your user ID and password to the server, whether it is in USA or any other country, whether it in remote places. Okay, it will reach that server and it will check whether the user ID and password is valid or not, and then it will send a response. So sometimes it will take few milliseconds. Of course, few milliseconds also matter, right? So it is asynchronous thing. So we need to send a request to the server. So we don't know. Suppose if the network issues are there, it will take too much time to get the response. So these things will handle with the help of asynchronous things, right? So let's see here. Okay, we already know how to use the set timeout, so that I'm providing some delay for this statement, okay, to print. So simply what we can do, simply we can use the set timeout. We know, right? The set timeout is a predefined thing provided by the browser, and it will expect one callback function and the delay. So instead of giving this statement directly, what we need to do, we need to add a callback function. So otherwise just create a callback function inside itself, no problem. I'm just creating one function. Okay, otherwise it's better to use the arrow functions, right, instead of making complex. So directly this set timeout is expecting a function. So that's why I just added one arrow function, and the delay 5000 milliseconds. Okay, 5000 milliseconds means 5 seconds. Okay, and I'm just moving this logic to into this callback function. Then what will happen? Tell me what will happen. What will happen? I hope you know the output. So first it will execute console.log start, and it will invoke the task 1, and whenever we invoke the task 1, it will register a timer in the web API, right? And it will come out of that and it will do console.log end. So first it will print start, and then it will print end, and this callback function will execute after 5000 milliseconds. Okay, how it will happen? We know already, we have covered already. So if you forgot, just please open this diagram. So hopefully you remember, you are able to recollect the things, right? So let me explain. Okay, I will explain because this is the very important topic, so that I want to explain everything in detail. No problem. If you're feeling bored or if you're feeling tired, so just take a break for every 10 minutes and come back so that it will be easy. Okay, so I don't want to create 5 to 6 videos on this, so let me explain as much as possible in one video, but please take a break if you are feeling bored. Okay, sometimes, yeah, naturally. So what will happen? Console.log start. Okay, whenever JavaScript engine start execution, so it will create a global execution context, right? Naturally, we know that. And in that global execution context, it will start executing console.log start. So we don't have any problem, so that it will print the start in the output start. And then what JavaScript will do? Okay, it will execute the task 1, it will invoke the task 1. Whenever we invoke the task 1, what we are doing, we have one instruction, that is set timeout, and we are asking the set timeout that please register a timer for me in the web API. That timer should be wait for 5000 milliseconds. After 5000 milliseconds, just execute that callback function. That is the meaning of that set timeout. So whenever it reaches this point, what it will do, it will, so of course before that, whenever you invoke the task 1, what will happen? It will create an execution context for that particular function. Okay, what is the name of that function? Execution context. Okay, already I have written, I think, the task 1. So now it will register a timer. So timer, from the beginning we are taking, I think we are taking this symbol for the timer, and the callback function, we attach the callback function, that is this one, and we are thus already have given 5000 milliseconds delay. 5000 milliseconds, so it will start the count from 5000 milliseconds to 0. Okay, of course JavaScript will not wait for anyone. So once it executes this line of code, after that nothing is there, so that it will remove this execution context from the memory, from the call stack, and it will give a control back the global execution context. Fine, in the global execution context, once you come out of that, because after completed this task 1 invocation, okay, and once we can finish the things with the task 1, so now it will print, it will execute console.log end. So in the output, we will get the output as end, and what it will do? Tell me what it will do. Once the once we execute all the lines, it will remove global execution context also from the call stack. Hope you have remembered. Okay, it is also gone. Now nothing is there to do for the call stack. So now already we have attached some the timer. So maybe it will take some time to finish these things, 5000 milliseconds, 4999, like that. It will count down, and once it is reaches 0, what it will do, we know, right? What it will do, it will push this callback into the callback queue, and at the time, okay, this event loop is always active, and it is just checking the call stack, whether the call stack is empty or not. Once it is, the call stack is empty, and if anything is there in the callback queue or the microtask queue, okay, highest priority for the microtask queue, and you have remembered, right? Okay, if you call the fetch API or REST APIs, and if you get the response, those callbacks will be available in the microtask queue, and microtask queue has a highest priority than the callback queue. Okay, of course we have taken a simple example with a set timeout, so that we got the callback here. So now what event loop will do, it will move this callback function from the task queue to the call stack, because already call stack is empty previously. So fine, now it will start executing this one. What is there in that callback? The console.log task 1 is completed. So now it will print it will print task 1 is completed. So if you see the output here also, just refresh. Previously, start task 1 is completed and end, because at the time we didn't use the set timeout. Now with the set timeout, so first start end is completed, the execution context and global execution context also gone. After 5000 milliseconds delay, we got the task 1 is completed. This is fantastic. This is handled by the event loop and the web API in a smart way. It is working properly, right? This is the first step is done. If you understand this, then only we can go to the second thing. So I hope you guys understood this one. So that what we need to do, we need to take a break, right? So I will just split this video here. I will stop this video here, and I will start from the same point in the next video, so that at least you will take a break. Okay, thank you, and see you in the next video, part 2.